All right, Kendra, thanks to our You Decide coverage continues in a major special election set for tomorrow. Polls will open at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, and on the ballot in the Republican primary, these three candidates. Justin Bradley is a former Spartanburg County councilman, Hope Blackley is the former Spartanburg County clerk of court, and Lee Bright, the former senator who once held this very seat in District 12, which covers some of Greenville County and much of Spartanburg County. Now, all three candidates took part in a recent debate hosted by the 4th District Republican Club. They covered a wide range of topics, and that includes judicial reform. It's become a major issue across the state, as South Carolina is one of just 2 states that has the General Assembly select its judges. Many say it must be changed, and each candidate gave their thoughts on the issue at Thursday night's debate.
If you can't have fundamental safety in your community, none of these other issues matter. And so we have to change the system that allows those individuals to continue to be out on the streets, and that starts with changing our judges. And so what I'd like to see is a governor to appoint it, just like we do at the federal level with the president, and have the legislature vote on that, and then have those individuals come back before the people with term limits to make sure that they're actually doing a good job at the end of the day.
It's bad on both sides. I sponsored a bill to have the governor appoint Senate oversight, just like the federal system, never got a hearing. The problem is these senators, they label you an obstructionist and a troublemaker if you push to try to get votes. Because what happens is the committee chairman, they stick the bills in the drawers. And the special interests that kind of run things, a lot of those bills get heard.
And that is a lot of power. And although I can't go into conversations that happen in executive session, but I can tell you that when it was improper, I held them accountable and told them it was improper, and that we needed to consider the facts of this individual candidate who's taken time to come down here to be properly screened. And the best way to do that is to revamp that whole entire system as someone who is set on that commission.
Now, another top issue, especially one we cover here, roads and bridges. We told you about getting answers earlier. Now, the candidates were asked about the state budget and our crumbling roads. And that was a big part of their answers.
I can tell you the money's there. I talked to somebody in Columbia. You know, they were telling me about, the budget needs, because they want to raise your gas taxes again. But they were talking about the budget needs. And I said, well, how much do we need? They said, well, $300 to $500 million a year. I said, so, okay, we blocked that aside and say the $300 to $500 million a year is going to roads before we do anything. And they said, well, that may not be enough. It's never enough. We got to hold them accountable.
I would also like to look into the Department of Transportation and see. I do think that money and revenue is there. It's just that we don't have a priority for what we need to be spending in this state in regards to what our priorities are. But I can tell you from hearing from constituents in the district, it's always going to be the infrastructure. I think we all can agree on that. That is what the hot topic is for people who are concerned about our roads and bridges.
At the end of the day, budgeting is about understanding where your priorities are, taking care of your core government functions. And like I said, we don't have a revenue problem. We got plenty of money. We got to look at where we're actually spending that money. And so we've got to focus on those core government functions. We've got to invest in our roads and infrastructure. We've got to invest in education. And then with that, we got to be able to actually put that money back into the hands of taxpayers, give money back to the people, and do real tax reform in this state.
Now, another issue that's often brought up in polls is about gambling. The candidates were asked, do you believe organized gambling should be legalized in South Carolina?
Everybody's talking about all the wealth that will come with that in regards to jobs and creating a better life. But we also have to remember what comes with that, addictions, and people not being able to pay their bills because they are having an addiction just like a drug addiction. And so at the end of the day, in my opinion, there does not need to be legalized gambling.
The lottery passed, and guess what? College still costs just as much. We're still, the K through 12 spending's gone up and up and up. So I don't know where we've really gained a whole lot. I've made it known I'm not going to support casino gambling. There are people upset with me because, you know, that's something they're going to try to do. And they've got a lot of senators on board, a lot of upstate people are on board, and it'd surprise you. So this is going to be a battle.
What comes along with that is the crime aspect of it. And if you believe that there is going to be a casino opened up in South Carolina that is not going to be a source for human trafficking and for gambling, you are mistaken. And that is not a problem that we need in our state any further. It's already a problem. Greenville County is #1 in the state already for this. We don't need more of it.
Now again, a big day for voting tomorrow in these special elections. You can see here on your screen. That's for Senate seat District 12. Again, that's part of Greenville County and a big portion of Spartanburg County. That debate on Thursday night was held in Duncan, so it's around that area as well when it spills over into Spartanburg County. Those in Greenville County, some of you will also have House District 21. That special election primary is also set for tomorrow. Polls open from 7 to 7. Again, the special election usually turnout is low when it comes to these special elections, so make sure you go ahead and change that pattern. Turnout to vote, polls open from 7 to 7 tomorrow, and you can see full interviews with all three of those candidates right now on our website, foxcarolina.com.